Hey guys, your favorite Green Hedgehog is back. This time I'm going to be doing a discussion video and it's something that I feel is really important and it bothers me a lot. So recently the Five Nights at Freddy's game Security Breach came out. While the majority of the Five Nights fandom has high opinions of that game, I've come across quite a few negative talking points in YouTube videos that I've seen discussing it over the time the game's been out. Now, if you know about the game, you'll know that it's, like I said, it's very positive among FNAF fans. And in fact, the game perception on Steam is currently very positive, with over 84% of 11,000 reviews at the time I looked it up being positive. But when I looked at the negative reviews of the game on Steam that I have been seeing recently, the players had a lot to say. One of the reviews that I came across got a refund for the game. Another person who gave the game a negative review only didn't refund it because they were gifted it by a friend. Here's my take on those reviews. A thing that a lot of the negative reviews have emphasized, and I think validly so, is that the game is basically just infested with a whole bunch of various bugs and glitches. Now, when the game came out, I didn't notice all these bugs and glitches. I just thought this was the pre-day one version and it should be normal. So what I saw of the game at its official release date was, wow, this is impressive. Maybe I should actually save to get a copy of this game for when it comes out on a console I own. So that is, it only is on PS4 and PS5 and Steam right now, and I don't feel like buying it on Steam. I have an Xbox with some gift cards. Anyway, that's besides the point. That would have been only the second Five Nights at Freddy's game I've played for myself, the other one being the very first, which I have played that one a lot and it's really good. But after I saw so many bugs and glitches and performance issues, no way, I'm not paying $40 for this game. Look, I think the Five Nights at Freddy's series is great. Like I said, I enjoyed the first game a lot, and it's fun to watch other people get scared. The story, the lore are fun to try to figure out since they're so obscure and such a mystery. It's also interesting to see people's takes on fan theories, like Matt Pat of the Game Theorist channel. But honestly, this game is not living up to any of the hype it created or the stuff that its predecessors established. Now, complaints other than the bugs and glitches that a lot of people have with this game are its story implications on the lore, its mediocre jump scares, how difficult it is in some places, and how easy it is in most other places. Now, I want to compare this game to another game with negative reception to its story and gameplay, as well as useless or badly implemented mechanics. That game is one you probably know. I've kind of been playing it, but not really on this channel. That game's Sonic 06. To be fair, this is a disclaimer. I've only played the original Sonic 06 on emulation. I didn't give it much of a chance. I played it for like 10 minutes. Like, if you take away the playability and stability issues, it was an okay game. And to be honest, I've played Project 06, and those issues are mostly unpresent, almost entirely unpresent. But let me explain in this video where Sonic 06 did badly, why people hated it, and compare that to why some Five Nights at Freddy's fans hate Security Breach. Sonic 06 is known widely among the gaming community. It's regarded both by many Sonic fans and people who aren't Sonic fans as the worst game the series has ever produced. Now, I don't entirely agree with that, but I also don't disagree. The thing is, I want to explain why people think that and what went wrong to make that happen. So for Sonic 06, I'm going to be talking about only the story first. Then later, when I talk about Security Breach, I will briefly mention the bugs and glitches. So I said Security Breach does mess with the story of its prior titles. Sonic 2006 kind of did that if you think about it. In 2005, Sonic Rush already came out. That was the game that introduced Blaze the Cat, who was in a separate dimension and had never met Sonic before. Val in Sonic 06, she also hadn't met Sonic before, but she wasn't from an alternate dimension. She was from Sonic Dimension several hundred years in the future, alongside Silver. Then there's the copy and paste of the damsel in distress story from the Mario series, which I have to admit, even though I like Sonic a lot more, Mario did a lot better. Not only is it a sexist trope, though, but Elise as a character barely helps the cast of the game, if she helps at all. I mean, it's a sure thing that she kissed Sonic to save his life, but if she wasn't in the game, he likely wouldn't have had to die in the first place. Now, Sonic wastes so much time in the story working to save her from Eggman, the guy who keeps kidnapping her several times over and over. And at one point, the game just says screw you to all your efforts to try to help, and has her and Eggman both explode aboard the egg carrier, which means you have to go back in time with Silver to save her, to prevent that from happening. And the kiss that Elise does to bring Sonic back to life, like, a lot of players just found that like outright disturbing. Like, in the game's end, Sonic and Elise make the hard choice, which for me, that wouldn't have been hard at all. To reset the universe so Solaris never returns and Sonic and Elise never meet. Geez, I wonder why they wouldn't want Sonic and Elise to meet again. Later, after Sonic 06, Sonic Team did confirm that Blaze was from an alternate timeline and not Sonic's future as she was presented in Sonic 06. So, was Sonic 06 a prequel to Sonic Rush? I mean, maybe it created the universe that Sonic Rush actually happens in, but who would have gone to the extra thought to try to figure that out? The game story just made no sense the way it was presented. If they can go back in time, why not go back in time to save Maria Robotnik when she dies aboard the space colony Ark, stop whatever it is that made Eggman evil, or I don't know, fix Sonic 06 so that when it was released, it was actually playable. These are the exact same problems Security Breach had, or two of them anyway. First, I'm going to be discussing Security Breach. I'll discuss its broken release state. As FNAF fans know, Steelwool had to finish the game without Scott Cawthon's oversight because he retired in June of last year. But before he left, the game had already been delayed 2 times. The first time the game was supposed to launch in holiday of 2020, but then Steelwool kept working on it and wanted to make it 3 times as ambitious as it already was. Scott reluctantly agreed to them doing that, but it obviously wasn't them delaying the game to actually finish it. That still hasn't happened, probably won't for a few weeks from now. They went for the high risk, high reward approach, and they clearly took the risk of alienating the FNAF fan base. Now, the second delay was due to the pandemic or something, but I don't know what it was. I don't remember. I'm just a hedgehog. I don't have that kind of memory. So they finally did finish the game or release it in December of 2021. While the high rewards came for them in terms of the money and the fan reception, the high risk became apparent in the way the game wasn't finished, but the fandom mostly ate it up because lore, because jump scares, because FNAF. Like I mentioned earlier, Sonic 06 had quite a plethora of bugs and glitches, but not nearly as bad or as significant or how many glitches Security Breach has. Now, a lot of Sonic fans blame Sonic 06 being incomplete and its story being a little flawed, some of the story's flaws anyway, on Sega's strict release date of basically by the end of 2006, because it was for Sonic's 15th anniversary. Now, I've also heard from some other people that Sonic Team lost a lot of progress when game files got corrupted. And as we already know, Sonic's original creator, Yuji Naka, left Sonic Team midway through production of Sonic 06. They supposedly released an earlier and more stable build with less of the story and not enough of it to make sense. But unfortunately, it still wasn't as stable enough. Now, with Security Breach, it could have either been Steelwool succumbing to the demands of angry fans willing to cancel Scott Cawthon on Twitter for his political beliefs, or it could have been them running out of budget and having to release the game as is. Or, like I said, I'm just a hedgehog, so how do I know it couldn't have been both? Anyway, that wasn't the only complaint critics had about the game. Like I said, it ruins the story of the prior titles. So, anyway, to tell you how that works, I won't spoil too much about it, but basically, Springtrap was a character that made no sense to be in the game in the way he was, given what happened to Springtrap in previous titles. In doing this, the game basically trivializes the events that happened to William Afton in previous FNAF games. William Afton was a popular character, that's no question, but a lot of fans just thought he had stayed as welcome in the series. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about Security Breach versus Sonic 06. And I hope I got your attention or gave you a new perspective of what went wrong with Sonic 06 based on a newer game with many of the same problems as Sonic 06. Now, I won't be talking about FNAF or Security Breach much in the future unless it just randomly comes up, but I wanted to bring the attention to Sonic 06, a game that actually has gotten a lot of recent positive attention and love, so I just thought Security Breach was relevant to why people love and yet also hate Sonic 06. I can see why people legitimately love Sonic 06. I don't disagree. It could have been a great game, but when it has something glaringly and blatantly flawed with it, it's important to see the whole story of how it became like that when you're able to see as much of it as you can. Well, that wraps it up for the video. Love you guys. If you like my discussion and want to see me present more gameplay and other discussion, whatever, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on upload notifications so you don't miss out on anything. With all that over and done with, see you later, fellow hedgehogs.